Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later from our college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He's not only focusing on theory part, he's doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they're not only focusing on study, they're also conducting different exams to test our knowledge. And as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, Excella.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped. So I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came from for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, XLR, for giving these courses. I learned a lot from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for XLR for teaching us.
Hello guys, I'm Vikram Mahajan and I'm studying in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Technology College, and I came across a training program which was mobile app development using Flutter, which was given to us by XLR Solutions. I came across this program through my college faculty, who told us about this program, that it is a very good course and you should enroll in this course. So I enrolled in this course, and initially I felt really good about this course because they started everything from a very basic point of view, that even if someone who doesn't know anything about Flutter or anything about mobile app development can also learn the same way the ones who know about it are learning. So no student was left behind and everyone was given equal attention. All the doubts throughout the course were cleared. And if we had any questions also, we were like, the trainer was also ready to stay for a longer time than it was scheduled, even for the sake of doubts. So that shows how important the students are to them. So it was a really good experience with XLR's program, and by the end of the training program, I was able to develop my own application. And through the development also, there was another point. So our sir taught us about how we can connect our own mobile phone to our laptop and write code in our laptop, and you can see the output in your phone, which is really creative and interesting for me. I felt really good about that. So in the end, I developed my own mobile application. I showed it to my mother, I showed it to my friends. I felt really good about it. So I would really suggest XLR. I would recommend it to all my friends to take courses from here, as they focus on the children, focus on the students, and they focus on what's necessary, that is the students' doubts gets cleared and everything else. So today I came down to the XLR office to collect my certificate. So I got to know about what other courses XLR is offering. It included data analysis, data analyst, social media marketing, and full stack Java, and many more courses which were interesting, and they gave us an insight of how everything happens, and they take you through the course from the starting of the course to the end, and what next, that is placements as well. How you should be going into the interviews and how you should be approaching to companies, your resume building, and there were so many things which XLR is going to help you in, and they are ready to give you all the knowledge required even if you are a beginner. So I really felt good about this visit, and I would really recommend XLR to everyone who's listening to this, and also to all my friends, that I had a very good experience with XLR, and I would suggest you to experience the same. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Satish and I am from Swami Vivekananda Institute of Technology. I am here to share my experience about XLR program. I took part in the XLR program that was conducted in the last month about the mobile app development using Flutter. What I liked the most about this session was the trainer started from the scratch. That means even the beginner who don't know about the basics of the program, even they can learn the most from this program. It gave me hands-on experience by developing a project which was the final outcome. Thank you XLR for giving me this opportunity, and I would also recommend all my friends to take part in the XLR programs. Thank you.
My name is Tasneem. I'm the senior manager at 98 percentile in the HR department. And today we did a wonderful drive with XLR. It was amazing right from the very beginning, from the very first day when I got in touch with them till today. I think it was an extremely smooth journey with them. There were multiple follow-ups done by the representatives in order to check that we would be, what time we would be coming, how many people would be coming, what vehicle we would get. To that extent, they were so precise in giving all the information to us. It was extremely great to get associated with them and have a drive at XLR campus. So we are very, very happy that we got a chance to do this. Now, coming to the students, what XLR had, I think they were extremely enthusiastic. They were well prepared. They were aware of what they are coming for. I think there was some back-end preparation which they did that was commendable. They also were very confident, and they were open to any kind of thing we were asking them to do. That was I think the best part. Now, I really hope we have a very, very fruitful association with each one of them and XLR in future. We are really looking forward to have many more drives like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Prachi Sharma and I'm the Senior Project Manager for IT Department at 90th percentile. So today we were here for this IT bootcamp, right, this technical drive and at XLR. So it was a great experience and I would feel that the students, they are the freshers, right, but it doesn't seem like that. So if I talk about their technical and cognitive ability, they all seems pretty good in that and that's what I felt. And I guess they have been taught pretty well at XLR, so that's how they have performed good in their aptitude and the technical tests. So I wish them very all the best, and it was a very great experience over here.
Okay, sir. So should we start? Omar, sir, should we start the session?
Yes, sir. We can start the session.
Okay, guys. So I'll start with the Spring initializer all over again. Okay. So those who did Spring initializer yesterday with me, I'll do it all over again for them once again. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once you're able to see my browser screen. Are you able to see my browser screen? Yes. Now you all are right. So what we have to do is we have to say Spring initializer. Okay. And go to this first website, spring start.spring.io, Spring initializer. Okay. So few students requested that they wanted to do this drill again. From in project, we will choose Maven. In language, we will choose Java. In Spring Boot version, we will choose 3.5.5, the default. Okay. In com.example, we will say com.xlr. Okay. Demo should be the name of the project. So whatever project you wish to open over here, okay, in your workspace, whatever title you want in your workspace of the project. Okay. So we can give that title over here. So did we do it for us? So we haven't done anything. Yesterday we had made a project, right? So it's not added over here. So we'll do it once again. So I'll say student management system. Or we can say college management system. So what it will do is it will concatenate the group and the artifact and form your base package like this. Okay. Keep the packaging as jar, keep the Java version as 17. And in the add dependencies, you go and you add the web dependency. As of now, just add one dependency, web, the Spring Web. That's all. So this is a basic Spring Boot project and then generate. So once you generate, it will download this in your jar, right click and extract it, and the folder will be extracted. Now copy this folder which we have extracted and place it in the workspace. Where is your workspace if you want to check? Go to file, go to switch workspace and click on other. Whatever this folder is showing, that is your workspace. So you go and you paste that in the workspace. So this is my workspace. and I'll paste it over here. College management system. Okay. And then what we have to do is go to file, go to open project from file system, and then directory, and then choose that project from the workspace. So this is my workspace, and I just added what? College management system, and I'll select this and I'll finish. And see, there'll be a progress bar at the bottom right. Please let this progress bar complete to 100%. Without this, do not do anything. This should complete to 100%. Do not click anywhere else right now. Just be patient and let this download 100% with the Java doc, everything. It's at 10%, 19%. This should come to 100%. Okay, so now once it is done 100%, then you can go and expand it. So where is that? College management, this year. So this is your Spring Boot structure. Okay, so have you all done it? Everyone done till here? Dependency is the jar file. So whatever feature we need to add, we have jar files for that. So if you want to connect with the database, you have to add the database dependency. Okay, so if you want to send an email, you have to add the email dependency. So for a basic Spring Boot application, we will just add the Spring Web dependency. That will just be a basic vanilla flavor Spring Boot application. So as and when our project will swell, the number of dependencies will increase. So all the dependencies are added in this pom.xml. The last file of your project, you will see. So whatever dependencies I have added will reflect over here. By default, it adds a few dependencies by itself. It adds a dependency called test by itself. And this is a dependency which I have added, web. So as and when our project will scale, this dependency tag will swell. 5 dependencies, 10 dependencies we can add over here for each specific task. Okay. So far, so good. Who all have reached till here? Please raise your hand. Who all are able to see this? Okay, very good. Nice. So people are now getting comfortable. We've just added a fresh Spring Boot project, Surya. That's all. So now I'm just starting with the explanation. Okay, so now I'll draw the architecture of a Spring Boot application so you all will understand better. So we have 3 layers in a enterprise application. First is the front end, as I was explaining yesterday. Okay. So this is the front end, that is the client side. I'll draw a relatively bigger back end so that we can explain Spring Boot better. So this is the back end, or we can call it as a server side. Yeah, and front end we can call as the client side. Okay, and then we have one more component called as the database. So these are the three main components. Okay, what I've learned in college also. So these are on three separate machines in real world. Okay, on the real world, these are on three separate machines. So the IP address of the client machine might be something like 120.109.0.1. Okay, this is the IPv4. So these three are on three separate individual machines. In real world. But in our case, they all will be on the same machine. So when your server and the client are on the same machine, the server is called as local host. Okay, so we call it local host because your server is also on the local. And then we have to give a port. So we will give 8090, let's say, is the port on which our server is running. Okay, so now this will be in HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript. This will be Java Spring Boot. And database server we will be having is MySQL. Okay. So I hope you all have installed MySQL also, because we'll be needing that. Most, I guess, in your academics, you all would be having MySQL. So most of you all, I guess, have. Yes, Nishkash, I did not get that. You have to extract the file and then add it in the ID. Okay, you'll want me to repeat the steps. See, the steps are: once you click on generate, okay? Once you click on generate, a zip file gets downloaded like this by the name of the artifact. By the name of the artifact which you have given, a zip file will get downloaded. Extract that zip, right click on it and extract that file. A folder will pop up from that zip file. Okay, copy this folder and place it in your workspace. How do I know my workspace? So to check your workspace, you go to your Eclipse, go to file, go to switch workspace, go to other. Whatever folder comes over here is your workspace. Navigate to that folder. So my D drive Eclipse Java programs 2. So I navigated to that D drive Eclipse Java program 2 and I pasted my folder over here. Okay. Once that is done, come to the Eclipse, click on file, open project from file systems. Okay, I'm sharing my entire screen. Okay. So go to file, open project from file system. This will pop up. Go to directory, navigate to your workspace where we pasted that folder. Select it, select folder, and then just finish it. That's all. So after repeating the steps, who all are now able to do it? Who were not able to do it the first attempt now are able to do a second attempt. Okay, so now let's progress. So let's come back to the architecture now. So understand this architecture, very interesting it is. So what happens is the entire game starts from the client side. Okay. So the client opens up a web browser. Okay. The client opens a web browser and initiates the request. So this is the web browser of the client. Okay. And let's say the client wants to insert a simple record. Let's say it wants to register a student. Okay, let's say it wants to register a student. So it is taking 2-3 things of the student. It is asking the student to enter the roll number, enter the name, and enter the percentage. Once it accepts these details, it will click on the save button. There will be some button. Okay. So when I click on the save button, data from this client will be sent to the server. Okay. So in the server, there are many layers. We'll design all these layers. Don't worry. There are many layers. The first layer, which receives the request, which has come from the client, that is called as controller layer. Okay. So no need to worry about it. Just understand the diagram and we'll try to code this. So controller is the single point of contact. Okay, so it is a single point of contact. So whenever the client wishes to send or receive anything from the server, it will contact the controller. That's all. Okay, so you can say in short, for the client, the controller is the server. Okay, so for the client, the controller is the server, because whatever request and response the client will do, it will do from the controller. Okay. So copying this and pasting it somewhere outside because I need that space. So I need to free up this space. So the single point of contact for the client is your controller. So it will send the request to the controller. It will take the response from the controller. So this request from the client will come to the controller and the response also will be sent by the controller. Okay, so it's like you go into a restaurant and the first person you meet, let's say the waiter. Okay, so he will give you the entire service. He will clean the table for you. He will take the order. Let's say will serve you the order, will bring you the bill. Everything will be done by this person. So he is the single point of contact for all the services you need. So whatever you need to order, you just call the waiter and he will give you that service. So this is the controller. Now the waiter takes the order, but he doesn't prepare himself. So the controller has helpers. So to process the data, the controller will give it to the service layer. Okay, so service layer is the brain or the business logic will be applied over here. Okay, so the brain of the application is the service layer. So the controller will take the data and pass it on to the service layer for processing. Now, if the service layer needs some help from the database, so okay, so if you all have written this, I'll have to clean up this space. Okay, so as of now, it is written over there also. No? So if the service layer needs some data from the database, then there is one more layer which interacts specially with the database, that is called as repository layer. So the task of the repository layer is, if the service layer requests for some data, if the service layer requests for some data from the database, it is responsibility of the repository layer to go to the database, fetch that data, and then give that data to the database. Give it to the service layer. So like this, there is a chain which is there. So, and then whatever service layer will process, it will give to the controller back, and the controller will return it to the client. Okay. So this is the work flow. So client will take the data from the user. Let's say client takes the data as 18. Okay, this is the data from the client. 18, Virat, and let's say 78.5. So when I click on save, this data will be converted into an object. This data will be converted into an object and then sent. So roll number 18, name Virat, percentage 78.5. So this data which I have collected gets converted into an object, and that object is then sent as a request. And this data will directly first come to the controller. So controller will receive this data, then controller will pass it to the service to the repository, and then you can store in the database. So to store in the database, this object has to pass through these layers. This object has to pass through these layers. This object which I have done over here, it has to pass through these layers. First, it will come to the controller. Controller will go to the service will go to the repository, and then it will be stored in the database. So eventually, finally, it will be stored in the database, and there will be one record added in the database for the data which we have just created. Okay, so once we do it practically, maybe things should be more clearer. So roll number, name, percentage, and whatever we have added in the text boxes will all be stored in this table over here. So this is a journey which the data will, okay, this will travel from the controller to the service to the repository, and the data which is traveling, for that we have a separate package called as model. Okay, so the data which we are making, just sending, which is traveling from one layer to other, that is called as the model. So now in Spring Boot, we have these 4 primary packages: the controller package, service package, repository package, and the model package. So once we have got our application, Okay, if you are not able to see the Project Explorer, let me show it to you. Recorded videos, you can ask Amar sir at the end of the session. Amar sir will guide you all as to where you will get the recorded sessions. So if you are not able to see the Project Explorer, what you can do is go to Window, go to Show View, and you have a Project Explorer over here. So if by mistake you close this window and you don't see the Project Explorer, then go to Window, Show View, and Project Explorer. You will get it back. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to make these 4 packages: controller, service, repository, and model. Okay. So we'll expand our application. In that you see SRC main Java. Just expand that. In that there's already one package by the name of the artifact which we gave. This will contain the main method. So every Java program should have the main method. So this package contains the main method. So do not touch this package. Just right click on this package. Okay, which has been made already. XLR college management system. Just right click on it and go to new and say package. And add all these 4 packages one by one. Dot controller, dot service, dot repository, dot model. So I'm adding first dot controller. Okay, then again click on the main package. The package which has the main method. Again click on it, right click, new. Again say package. So controller was done. Then after the controller we have service. Then again, okay, so if you see, they all are under this same package. New package, after service, then repository. And after that, new package dot model. Okay, so these 4 packages we have to create. This is a basic skeleton of a Spring Boot application. If you're having issues with the Maven, what you can do is go to Window, go to Preferences, choose Maven, and leave the first 2 boxes unchecked and checked all the other boxes. Rohit, try doing this. Okay, how did I come over here? Go to Window, go to Preferences, go to Maven, keep the first 2 windows unchecked, just check all the windows, click on Apply, Close, and check if that error goes or not. Okay, so now in the controller, we will come and make a new class. So right click on the controller package, go to new and say class, and we call that as, let's say we are making a only test, we make a hello controller. Today we will just give a hello controller. Okay, and just finish. So this is the class we have got. On this class, put a annotation at the rate REST controller. Put the annotation as REST controller. So as you have added the web dependency, it will automatically import it for us. And now make a function public. We will return a string and we will just say hello. And we will just sys out, or we'll just return rather, welcome to project session. Okay, we are returning this. So when will we call this function? So we have to make an endpoint for that function. So I will say at the rate get mapping, and we will, this function will be invoked when I hit the /hello. So when anybody calls the endpoint hello, okay, so in this what happens is the controller is full of endpoints. The controller is full of endpoints. So whichever endpoint the client will hit, that particular code will be executed. So we call get mapping. Okay. So if I have an endpoint called hello, okay. So this hello is linked to which function? It is linked to a function which will return me a string. Okay, you can give any name to the function. I'll give the same name as the endpoint. You can give any name. And what it is returning? Welcome to project session, right? So like this, you can have any number of endpoints over here. So if I have one more endpoint, okay, these are your RESTful APIs. RESTful endpoints, we call them. So if I have one more, let's say I say one more, and if I say give any endpoint, okay, let's say I give test. My endpoint name is /test. Okay, so instead of hello, you can give any other function. Give the same function name as the endpoint. Endpoint is test. Give the function name also as test. And this will return anything, something else. Okay, this will return something else. Let's say Java Spring Boot. So now whichever endpoint the client will hit. So if the client calls the hello endpoint, we are hitting the server, right? And you have to give a port. So I will give port number 8090. So to give the port, you have to go to the resources, and there's a file over there called application.properties. Over there, just write over there server.port and give the port number. So we are giving 8090 and save it. So what will the client do? Local host and the port. So it is like on this machine, on this port, whatever service is running, of that service, I want to call the hello endpoint. So as the client will hit hello, the server will return this message on the browser. And if the client goes and hits this endpoint /test, okay, the client will hit this endpoint. The server will return what? If I hit test, so it will go to the controller. Okay, the client interacts with the controller. The controller is a single point of contact for the client. So the client will search, is there any mapping for /test? Okay, it has got the mapping. So this function will be called, and whatever this function is giving, return Java Spring Boot. So it will display that to the customer. So like this, you can have hundreds of mappings in the controller. So controller's job is to take the request from the client and route it to a particular function. Getting it? After clicking on controller, you right click on the controller, go to new, go to class, create a class, whatever name you want to give. I give the class hello controller, and I've got this class. So on the class, you have to write @REST controller and then make this endpoints. So I have made two endpoints right now. One for hello and one for test. Let's So if I call the hello controller, it will call the hello function. If I call the test controller, it will call the test function. Sorry, there's someone at the door. So when I call the test, it will call this Springboard. Save it. Okay. Now we have also set the server. You can give any 4-digit number you wish, but this is the standard numbers 8090, 8091, 8092. Okay, use these standard numbers. Okay, I'm using 8090. So I do a save. Now once you have done the save, then you right click on the class which contains the main method. So go to the class which contains the main method, right click on it, run as Java application. And your program should run. Okay, wait for this message which says started on which port and how much second it took to start. So once you have this message on the screen, then you can open up the browser and will test the endpoint whether they are working or not. So the client will send what? Client will send localhost colon 8090 and slash hello. It gets the response, welcome to project session. And if it says test, it gets Spring Boot. Okay, so my endpoints are working. Can you show me the warning? Can you text it over here, Zubair? Okay, so see, simple, I have done one workout. If I stop sharing, does it allow you all to share the screen? Anybody try? If it supports your screen sharing, so I can troubleshoot your. So we'll do one thing. We'll try to install the JDK also in our machine. So, yeah, so we'll do one thing. So we can install the JDK also. JDK is very easy to install. I'll give you all my GitHub handle. So go to github.com/UY Solanki. Go to this handle. And once you all hit enter, you all will see a lot of repositories. Go to the repositories. Okay, I'm navigating you all in the text also. Go to repositories. In the repositories, you will see find a repository, right? Search bar, find a repository, search bar. In that type JDK. Okay, just type what? JDK. So you just go to here and type JDK. and you will see JDK 17 coming up. Click on that and you'll see a text file. Click on that text file. That text file gives you a link of my Google Drive from where you can download that JDK 17. So copy this, open up a fresh tab and paste it and hit enter. Click on download. It will ask you download anyway. Yeah. Just click on download anyway. A 152 MB file should be downloaded. Try doing that. Once done, let me know. And then just click on next. Just to install it, just click on it. Next. It will install the file. Then everyone installed JDK 17. Yeah. Others, just it is next, and you will it install. Don't change any settings. Just click on next, and do it. So all have installed. Use a hand, those have installed. GitHub. So go to GitHub and my handle. Okay, then you will see repositories. I have texted that on the chat also. So go to the handle, go to repositories. In that you will see a find a repository. In that type JDK. And it will take this JDK 17. Click on the JDK 17. Okay. Click on JDK 17. In that JDK 17, there is a text file. Click on the text file. In that text file, there is a link. So you can directly copy this link and paste it into the browser. Copy the link in the file and paste it in the browser. Hit enter. Okay, and then download the file and install it. So installation is very easy. Next, you have to click and it will install. All done? Okay. So once you all have done that, then add that JDK to our Spring Boot project. Right click on the project which we have, college management system. Right click on it. It will say build path. Go to build path and it will show configure build path. Okay. So once you go configure build path, it should show here JRE system library 17 to everybody. So if it is showing over here, you can just click on edit and go to install JRE. Okay. And then over there, you can click on add. Click on add, click on standard VM. Next, go to JRE home directory. And then in your C drive, in program files, in Java, it has installed your JDK 17. Just take this folder of JDK 17 and say select folder. That's all. And it should reflect over here. But I already have it. So it is showing me already in use. So that's why I'm not doing it. You all can just take it from there. Like this. So once you will have that, apply it. Okay. And then in your, when you go to alternate JRE, it will show you your JDK 17. Just click on it and finish it. So that should be helpful. Are you all able to share your screen, guys? Anybody from you all? Or is it meeting is not allowing you all to share your screen? After installing JDK 17 Rohit, right click on your application, whichever you have made over here. You see my college management system, right click on that. It gives you option of build path. Go to configure build path. It will show you JRE system libraries Java 17. Click on that. Go to edit. In that you have installed JREs over there. Click on that install JREs. Click on add. Okay. This is being recorded. So those people who can after session can try. Click on add. Standard VM is fine. Click on next. Go to directory. And now your Java which you installed, it normally installs in the C drive program files Java folder. And there will be a folder by the version of Java which you installed, JDK 17. Just click on that JDK 17 and say select folder. I already have that. So it is showing already in use. You can just, for you it will not show, just say apply and close. Okay. So that file should reflect over here. JDK 17. You can check that and apply and close. And then once you have done that, if you go to alternate JRE, your folder should show over there. JDK 17, check that and finish. Apply and close and done. Okay, very good. Once you have done that, then right click on your class which has, so go to the package which has the main class. So this is the package, these are the packages which we made, right? Controller, model, repository, service. This package we got by default. Go to the default package, you'll have the main class. See, now my application is already running. So it is showing you this red square. So click on this red square, first stop the application. Click on these two gray crosses. Okay, once this console is clear, then again run the application. So don't run the application without stopping the application. It will throw an error. But my application has started. I go to the browser now. I have to test my application. I do a send and it gives me the response. I had made two endpoints, test and hello, and both are working fine. So now we'll try to increase the intensity and try to write some more APIs. So in the controller, you can write all your APIs over here. Okay. So get mapping is used to read. So we have in our application, we have 4 operations. We call them as CRUD operations. Create, read, update, delete. Okay, so create, read, update, and delete. So create, for create, we will use @post mapping. So create means if you're inserting any record. So whenever you're trying to insert a new record, we will use create. And for create, we will use @post mapping. For create, we will use what? @post mapping. For read, we will use @get mapping. So whenever you want to read anything, like select query. So read is like your select query. So you all know database, right? If you are inserting a query, if you want to select anything, we use read. For update, we have put mapping. So if you want to update any record, we have @put mapping. And if you want to delete any record, for that we have delete mapping. So we have 4, these are called as HTTP methods. These are called as HTTP methods. So we have 4 basic HTTP methods. So now I'm just reading the data, right? So I'm giving get mapping. Okay, I was showing on the paint screen, sorry. I was just showing over here. Okay. So we have 4 HTTP methods. So if I want to create, I will use which method? Create means insert a record. If I want to insert a record, I will go with the post mapping. Okay. So if I want to create a record, I will go with post mapping. If I want to read or select, I will go with get map. If I want to update query, it will called as put method. And for deleting, we have delete method. Okay, so these are the 4 HTTP methods which we will use. So as of now, I'm just reading the values and showing it. So I'm using get mapping over here. So now let's try to insert a record. So insert a record means to the database. So if we want to communicate with the database, then we have to add the dependencies. So to communicate with the database, we have to add the JPA dependency, and the database which I'm using is MySQL. So I'll add the MySQL dependency. Who all have installed MySQL? Who all have installed MySQL in their? Whose laptop MySQL is already installed, guys? So install MySQL because that we need a database. Yes, MySQL Workbench. Very good. Read. So who has installed MySQL Workbench? Let me see if I have any documentation to share with you all for MySQL Workbench. If we're needing database, MySQL database. So I'm searching. Okay. You can just install it MySQL Workbench. So you will be needing that. Yeah. Not sure whether I had made a documentation of the step-by-step installation of MySQL. I'm getting that document. I can install it, download and install MySQL. Or if you all want, let me check my Google Drive. I have that. So as of now, temporarily, if I can okay. So as of now, simplest of you all can download it from here. That is the simplest of databases. You all can take it from here. So this is my Google Drive link I'm sharing with you all. Okay. Click on that Google Drive link and it will ask you to install WAMP server. Just click next, next, next and install it. So we can use that as a database. Okay. So now coming back to our project. So now whatever data I've taken from the user, I want to save that into my database. So now I have to add some more dependencies. Yeah, 8:30, Hanif, Amar sir will share the attendance sheet. It's not able to. So let me check if I have that file on my hard disk. I can drag and drop that file to you all. The account admin has restricted the transfer of file. So I cannot transfer any file. I'm trying to transfer that file. It says is restricted. Account admin. Who is the admin? I'm the host also. Let me check if I can upload this file on GitHub. So we need the database. No? So you can download MySQL and install the MySQL workbench meanwhile. So those who are not able to do so, I'm trying to okay, you can download it from this then. Okay, I uploaded that database on the GitHub and I've shared the GitHub link of my database by the name WAM. So download the WAM server, it will have the database. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is okay, so I can download it from the link which I just shared. This is the exe file, download and install it. Okay, it is just next, simple instructions. For those who have the MySQL workbench, very good. Yeah, Pratik, that's why I've shared the GitHub link. If the drive is showing an error, no? That's why I've shared the GitHub link, try this. Okay. You also able to download it from here. So let's come back over here. So once you all download and install WAM, you have to click on the, you have to start the WAM server, okay? You have to go in the start and search for WAM and click on start WAM server. It will ask you for a confirmation, say yes. And on the space bar, okay, on your task bar, When you go, you should see a W. Okay, so WAMP, even my WAMP is not started. So to start the WAMP, after installing that is okay. You have to click on it. It says, do you want to allow this app from unknown publisher to make changes? Say yes. And then you will see a W which turns from red to orange to green. Okay. Once the WAMP is green means your database server is on. Yeah, guys. So I've again sent it. Yeah, Nisha. So I've shared this file on GitHub. Download it from GitHub though. Those who are not able to do it. It's showing over here, no? exe. Click on the exe and go to download. Click on this download raw file. And it should download it. See, it allows. So download it from there. See, it has downloaded. Okay, so open that file and click on this download option over here. It should download. Surya. Yes, WAMP is an alternative for MySQL. So if you already have MySQL Workbench installed, no need to do download WAMP. This is for those guys who are not able to install MySQL. So the easiest way to install MySQL is your WAMP. Okay. So now let me move ahead. So we have to add the dependencies. So I want to add two dependencies, one for JPA and one for MySQL. So if I have any dependencies over here, I can use it for my existing form XML. Okay. So add these two dependencies. One for starter, Spring Boot, starter, web we already have. Use this one, Spring Boot, starter, data, JPA. So I'm copying this. I'm pasting it over here in the dependencies. I'll just share this with you all so you all can take it. And then I will also need a MySQL. Okay, so the version of MySQL, those who are using WAMP, for them the version of MySQL is 8.5.1.15. Okay, those are using WAMP. For WAMP users, this is the version we have. And those who are using MySQL Workbench, those guys can write 8.0.33. Okay. So I'll put it over here. If you are using WAMP, the version which you will use is 5.1.15. And if you have your MySQL Workbench, okay, for those candidates, the version of MySQL they should use is 8.0.33. Okay, so depending on whichever version of WAMP you are using, whichever version of MySQL you are using, add this accordingly. Okay, so I've added these two dependencies. I click on save. So once I click on save, it starts to download those dependencies. This is the beauty of your POM XML. You just have to add the dependency and all these jar files which are required, it will download it. Okay, and then we also need the properties file now. Once you are communicating the database, the properties file will have some more configuration. So I'll add that also. So in my resources, properties file is there. So we'll require all this extra. Okay, so we are just given the server port number. So now this is my database. Okay, so this driver is for those who are using 5.1.15. For them, the driver is this. And those who are using 8.0.33, for them, the driver will be mysql.cj.driver. Okay, so driver will change depending on the database version we are using. So as I am using 5.1.15, my driver is MySQL, and now I have to create the database. So we have to go to, so I've started my WAMP. Once the WAMP is started, to access the database, you have to write localhost, hit enter, and you see PHP. This is the WAMP dashboard. You see PHP my admin. This is our database. So over here, I will make a database for our project. New database. Okay. So I will say major project DB, and I will create it. So now I will be hitting this database. So copy this database name and put it over here. Rest everything remains the same. No need to worry about anything else. Rest all remains the same. I'll comment out this. So when we are communicating with the database, we have to add these settings. Let me push all this code to the GitHub. Let me make a new repository for you guys so that. Okay, so I'll make a new repository. I'll call it as what? Student or college management, right? College management system XLR. Okay, let's create this. So whatever I'm coding, I'll share that with you guys. Okay, so this is the GitHub repository which I've made. So all the code which I'm writing of Spring Boot will reflect over here. So I made this repository for your college management system. So whatever I'm typing, SRC, okay, college management system. So all that code is coming over here also. Go to main, and that go to this package. We'll have all the packages over here. So as of now, we only have the controller package. So it's just showing controller over here. Hello controller. It is having this much code. So whatever coding I have done is reflecting over there. Okay. Who all have installed WAM? Who all have installed WAM? Or MySQL database, whichever database irrespective. Okay, so now once we have done this, we'll do a project clean. So whenever you add any fresh dependency in the POM, whenever you will add a fresh dependency in the POM, always do a project clean. So we added 2 dependencies, no? We will do a project and clean, and we'll choose our project and clean it. Okay, so now if I run the application, let's check. It should run. Okay, driver class CJ. We don't need CJ, right? What is it telling us? It's showing an error. Hibernate dialect. Okay, it wants the dialect. So we'll have to give this setting. We'll have to give this setting. Run. Stop the application, clear it. Right click, run as Java application. So let's check whether it is running. Okay, so the service has started running on port number 8080 and started in these many seconds. So now to save the record to the database, we will make a new endpoint and I want to save a student record. So I will say save student. So the student should have a roll number, name and percentage. So in my model class, I will go and make a new class called as student class. So this will be a Pojo plain old Java object. So I will say private integer roll number, private string s name, private double percentage. Okay, and then we can add the setter getter constructors. Right click, go to source, generate constructor. Okay, generate. If you're writing a all args constructor, you can make a no args constructor also. So like this. And then setter getters, right click, source, generate setter getters, select all, and then you can generate. And then right click, source, generate toString also. Okay, so these things we'll have in our model class. Okay, so I want a table should be made by this. So in Spring Boot, no need to write the code to create table explicitly. Just annotate that class with add entity. So as you annotate with add entity, table will be created. And in this, I want a primary key as roll number. So annotate with add ID. Okay, and if you want to, okay, just say that's it. Imported from Jakarta persistence. Okay. Entity and ID also both. Okay, so now this add entity will create a table with the name student in the database, and the primary key of that table will be roll number. This is as simple as that you have in Spring Boot. So now if I go to the hello controller, and now I want to save the student. So I'll call it as /save student. So what will we do? We'll create a student class object then. Amar sir has shared the link for the attendance, guys. Meanwhile, mark the attendance. Take a 2-3 minute break, mark your attendance. Yes, guys, have you all marked your attendance? Okay, guys. So, so I'm making a student class object. Roll number as 18. Name as Virat. And percentage as 78.5. As it is in a separate package, you have to import this class. Whichever class is not in our package, you have to import that. And now, where are we? We are in the controller. So we are here. Now controller has that object now. And now, as I had mentioned, we'll pass this object from the controller. We'll pass it to the service. From the service, we'll pass it to the. So this object which we have right now is in the controller in this method. Save student. Now from there, I will pass it to the service. So controller will interact with the service. So we have to make the service also. Right click on the service package. and new, that is the interface. Okay, and we'll call it as student service. Okay, and this will extends the JPA repository. T is what type of object is? Object is of type student, and ID is what is the primary key of the student? Roll number is a what type? Integer type. So write over here integer. Okay, and import the student over here also. Just hover on that and it will ask you to import. And annotate this with at repository. Just say and just your control space bar. It will prompt you, take the repository. Okay, this was in the service, right? Sorry. We came in the service. Service is a class. No, delete this. Delete it. We need to make the service as a class. So in service, right click new class. Student service. So service will be a class and annotate with at service. So whatever is the package name, that should be the name of the annotation. And now once I have the object in the service, I will give it to the repository. So in the repository, we have to make an interface, new interface called student repository. You all try doing this task. Now we understand how it is flowing. Extends JPA repository. Just give a JPAR, control space bar. T stands for which object we are passing, student class, and I stands for the primary key of type integer. Import it and annotate this also with at repository. Okay, so you annotated the controller with at rest controller, annotated the model class with at entity, annotated the repository with at repository, annotated the student service with at service. Now who communicates with whom? Controller communicates with the service. So in the controller, we should have an object of the service. So in Spring Boot, to make the object is very simple. Just take the class and just say auto wired. Okay, just and just say over here @ auto wired. So it will automatically fetch. And to import, Control Shift O. Okay, I'll give all the shortcut. So whenever you want to import, just give a Control Shift and O for orange. Okay. So now the hello controller has the student service, and service will communicate with the repository. So go to the service and here I will auto wire the repository. So copy the repository in the service. We will auto wire the student. So first is the class, second is the object. Capital S, this is the interface, and small s is the object. So just say auto wired. Now we have to import both of them. Just do a Control Shift O. And both are imported over here. That's all. And now what we have to do in the hello controller, pass this S1 to the service. So take the service class, make a method in that service class with the same name, save student, and pass this object S1 over there. And once it is saved, you can just say return record saved successfully. Okay. Now this function is not there. We need the student service, no? So we are sending this to the service. Controller will interact with the service. So of the service, I am calling this function. This is not there. To create this, hover on it and say create this function. And the student repository just has a simple function called save, and it saves the record in the database. This is the workflow. Let's come again. So if now someone tries to hit /student, it will take this student and pass it to the service class. Okay. Save student method. Then to go in that, just hover the mouse on the function, press the control key, it turns into a hyperlink, click on it. Now I'm in the repository, and repository has one simple function called save. It will save that record in the database. Now my application is already running. So I have made a lot of changes. So first I have to stop my application. Remember, stop the application, clear the console, save all your changes, and then run again. So whenever you make changes, you have to rerun the application. So for that, you have to stop the existing application. There's some issue popped up of the MySQL connector. Have I not? What happened? Database. Everything is fine. What happened with the database? Unable to JDBC connection. Why is it not able to do JDBC connection? Right click, run. Now application check. Client plugin auth is required. Why is this required now? Unable to open JDBC connection. Error creating bean with entity manager. Execution of DDL. College management system is having unable to obtain JDBC connection. Why is this coming up? Unable to open isolated JDBC connection. MySQL connector. It is looking for this connector 8.0.33. What connector do we have in our application? Search for MySQL. Why is it showing 8.0.33? Wherein we have added the specific version, no? In our application. Did I change this? I said no. For us, we will use what? 5.1.15. Okay. So for WAMP guys, as I said, for WAMP guys, we will use 5.1.15. For Workbench guys, 8.0.33. So I did not change that. So now if I check my Maven dependencies and check my MySQL, it is reverted back to 5.1.15. Yeah, now it's good. I forgot to change that setting over there. Okay, everything is closed. Right click, run as Java application, and now it should start. Okay. So as you all play around with this, you all will be able to understand this better. Okay, it has started, application has started on port number 8090. Now to insert, now there is no record in the database. So to check, if you go and check in the database, there is no table. There is one table what have been created. One table might have been created now in the database. Okay. Student table, see, but it is not having any record. It is not having any record. Now, for the record to be inserted, we have to call this endpoint. So the controller endpoint which will trigger that insertion is save student. So now if I call this endpoint over here /save student and I hit enter, it says record saved successfully. And if I go to the database and check, you will see that record will be inserted over here. Roll number 18, percentage this, S name Virat. Is that making sense to you all? Is that understood? So we need all these configuration in place for the setup to work. So we need the database. Model class is very simple. See, whatever I'm saving over here, no model class, it's all being recorded in the GitHub. So if you go to the GitHub, okay, I've shared the link with you all, right? Okay, I've shared this link with you all. College management system. So in the chat, I'm sharing it once again with everyone. So if you go to this, go to SRC, go to main, go to this Java XLR and controller will show you hello controller over here. Okay, I have not pushed the other code. So let me push that code. Okay. So once I have pushed the code, now when you will go to this repository, SRC, main, okay, and go to this, you'll see all the code over here. What is in the model? The entire code is seen over here. You can see over here. So whatever I am coding is entire shown over here. If you have to go to the control, what is in the controller? This is the controller. Okay, I just wrote that. So whichever endpoint the client will hit, it will go to that controller endpoint, and then so the request will first come to the controller, and then whatever controller will do, controller will send to the service, and service will send to the repository. Like this we will play. Okay. Okay then, guys, you'll practice this much. Install all the relevant softwares, and maybe tomorrow we can take some other operations. Okay, like insert we did today. Tomorrow we can do update, delete, and search other operations. Okay, so try to get the setup done. Either install MySQL Workbench or install this WAMP, whichever y'all can do it easily and conveniently. Okay then. Bye. Take care. What I have pushed to the repository, you can take reference from there. Okay, Amar sir. Any other instructions you have to give?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll leave the link.
Yes, sir. Dear student, I'm sharing the attendance link in the chat box. So please make sure that you are submitting your attendance and sharing the valuable feedback about the session. As I already mentioned into the KT session yesterday itself, that 60% attendance is mandatory. Okay. So please make sure that everybody is marking your attendance and sharing the valuable feedback about the session. If you have any points to add or anything, so you can post into the chat box. Zoom people, YouTube people. All good? Okay, great. Disha, actually, so we have a time of 15 hours for the FSD, and we have to meet the expectations as well. So if you miss on any point, you can go through the recording once again so that you can utilize. I need a Zoom link. As I mentioned, you can just scroll the chat above side and you are able to see that process towards accessing the LMS, and you can access the Zoom link from the LMS portal. Okay, great then. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the day two. And we'll see you tomorrow at same time. Till the time, bye bye. Take care of yourself and take care of yourself.